Alright guys, I thought I would, a lot of you are asking what I've done for rehabilitation for my lower back with my injuries, and so I figured I'd show you some things that I've been doing that seem to be helping. So for those who aren't familiar, um, in late September, early October, early October, I was coming back from my hip and my two herniated discs in my neck, and I was doing really well. Um, I was like, my deadlift was probably back over 7. I hit 635 for 7. My bench was back up to normal. I hit 335 for 6. And my squat was coming back. My squat was like 40. I was doing 45 for easy fives. So I was coming back. I was doing really well. I was actually even starting to look at doing the Arnold in March for my comeback meet. And then 2 days after a deadlift session where I'd been doing 625 for 4s and felt really good, I couldn't even hardly stand up. Um, I've never had anything take me out like that. Just pretty much completely incapacitated. Just standing up from a seated position was so painful, and it progressively got worse for the next 3 weeks to the point where I literally laid on my floor for hours at a time, and even that wasn't pain free. Getting up from the floor to a standing position took me probably at least 60 seconds, and it involved a lot of pain. So that took about I started physical therapy with my physical therapist, Jamie Alhambra of OPPT in Tampa. Highly recommend her if you're in the Tampa Bay area. I'll put her name in here and her contact if you need help. She would be somebody I would contact and go see. So I also bought the book The Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill, who is pretty much the world's leading expert on lower back injuries. I had an MRI done, and I had identified a herniated disc between L2 and L3, which was not the cause of my pain. My pain was further down, and a bulge disc between L5 and S1, which that was the cause of my pain. The herniated disc, I believe, was old and had kind of already healed, but it did cause me a little bit of pain, but not much. So some of the moves I've been doing, I forget what exactly this is called. So what I'm doing here is I've got one leg off the ground, my elbows are flared out to my sides, with my hands under my lower back, and one leg is bent, the other leg is straight, and as you can see, so I'm lifting my leg up, I'm lifting my elbows up, and I'm lifting my head up, and it's not much. It's only like an inch for each thing, and I'm holding that for a 10 count, and then putting it back down. And I'm doing that. The book had me start out with 6 per side, and then that was a set, and then the next set would be 4, and then the next set was 2. So these are all exercises to kind of strengthen your core, strengthen your lower back. Because at the end of the day, it's actually another thing Jamie had me do was dead bugs, and you can look those up online. But essentially, those were helping me strengthen my core, because it's your core that really protects your lower back. And so, what was wild about this injury was before, whenever I'd hurt my lower back or hurt anything, I was always able to identify kind of when that injury occurred or what did it. And in this case, I have no idea what did it, because I felt, the previous sessions I had felt really good, and just have no idea what caused it. And in fact, I think it might have been picking up my daughter. I think I picked her up and kind of twisted, and if I recall correctly, that's where I really started to feel it that night. So, and of course, once I came out and said that I had this injury, there was a lot of people who were very supportive, which I really appreciate. There was also the normal, you should quit. Your body's obviously trying to tell you something. You're done. It's over. You're just old, which I'm 35. I don't think I'm that old, but who knows. And yeah, the normal everyday thing. Well, Um, the I really despise people who have that mentality. It is not your job to clip other people's wings. You know what? I'm doing all this rehab and I'm doing all this mobility work, and you know what? Maybe I'll never be able to get back to where I was. I can accept that. I can accept failing. What I can't accept is not trying with everything I have to make it back. And, a lot of people have setbacks like this, and they come back and do great. I don't see any reason why I have to be different than them. I know they're not all smarter than me, tougher than me, with more tenacity than me. So I'm going to put in all the work, do every single thing I can to make it back. And if I don't come back, at least I know I emptied the tank. At least I know I gave it everything I had. But I really have a strong dislike for people who they get enjoyment out of kind of putting others down and telling others that, I think it's because, there's a quote that I really like. Those who have given up on their dreams will attempt to discourage you from pursuing yours. And I think that's very true. And I think it's a lot of that's they've given up. They quit. And so if somebody else quits, it can make them feel better about being mediocre. Well, that's not the way I'm built. And it's not the way I'm going to approach things. Like I said, I'm going to do every single thing I can. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'll know that I emptied the tank. And, if anybody wants to fault me for that, then you are so basic, I just don't even want to have a conversation with you. So, some people may think that's harsh, but I don't have time for people with that kind of mentality. I just don't have time for it. So these are what's called bird dogs, and you're sticking one leg straight back and then the opposing arm straight forward and looking straight. And these, again, helping to strengthen the core, helping to strengthen the lower back. I'm holding for a 10 count and then putting the arm down. And as you can tell, I put the arm down and kind of put it out to the side as well. That's a move that was suggested in the book. And these, it's the same sort of set and rep scheme. I'm doing 10-second holds for 6, and that's a set, and then for 4, and that's a set, and then for 2. So, people say, what has it really made a difference? And I it's hard to say, was it just, was it doing these moves, or was it, I didn't squat, I didn't deadlift, and I just gave my back a chance to heal. I think it's probably a combination of the two, But when it happened, my back felt great, and I hadn't had, that I knew of, any kind of back injury. So, I think one thing people have to understand about injuries, and this is, people have used my injury to kind of say, oh, well, see, Lane lifts incorrectly. I don't know of many powerlifters who have reached a high level and sustained it for a long period of time without going through some kind of injury. And that goes for athletes in any sport, to be quite honest with you. If you get to a high level in any sport, look at Tiger Woods in golf. Like, not even a contact sport. And in golf, he had all kinds of back issues. Baseball players, obviously football players, all these tennis players as well. All these athletes, high-level athletes, get injured. That's what happens. When you are to be that good at something, you're going to have to train at such a level of intensity and volume that you're always going to be bordering on the possibility of getting injured. That's just part of it. And for a long time, I'd been very, I don't want to say fortunate, but I had not dealt with many injuries. I did tear my pec in 2008, and I can remember all the way back in 2008 people telling me I was done and I should quit and that was going to end my career. So maybe these people have short memories. What it is most of these people who tell you to quit or tell you that, or try to discourage you, they're not going to last anywhere. And so the people that were around 9 years ago telling me this, they've already gone and failed in fitness and they've moved on to something else. That's why we've got a whole new host of people telling me I should quit, because they didn't have the opportunity to learn from past history. Because if past history would have taught them anything, it would be that I don't quit. I'm not a quitter. It's not going to happen. So you telling me to quit or you telling me that I should walk away, all that does is strengthen my resolve that I'm not going to quit. And it makes me feel like, I'm not going to get tired when it comes to training, because I'll remember that. I'll remember those words that were said. And some people will say, oh, well, you shouldn't get you shouldn't get motivation from a negative place. I don't give a damn where I get motivation from as long as I get it. And, like I said, I'm just not going to get tired, because every time I'm going to feel a little bit tired, a little bit frustrated, I'm going to remember those words that were said. And that's going to give me one more rep, one more set, one more period of focus, and I'm going to finish. So, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be back. Anything's possible, obviously, but I truly believe that I will be back. These are what are called Camels, and so that is where you're going from a hyperextended position in your lower back to a position of flexion. And you don't want to go to full flexion. So you basically want to go to flexion until your back starts to, until there's any kind of back pain. You do not want to take it past that. Same thing for hyperextension. If you go into hyperextension and it hurts, you shouldn't take it there. Also, if you have back pain, I am not saying that these are the moves you should do, because I don't know what is specifically causing your back pain. And if it's something other than a bulged or herniated disc, these may not be appropriate for you. So I would suggest either buying the back mechanic or seeing a qualified physical therapist, because I don't know if these moves are best for you. I just don't. I'm not a physical therapist. This isn't my area of expertise. So here what I'm doing is side planks. And again, these are to strengthen the core, provide more stabilization for when I squat and deadlift. I cannot emphasize enough how ridiculous it is. If I tried to give people prescriptions on what to do for their injuries, that would be like somebody who is an injury expert trying to tell you what you should eat because they had a nutrition coach who gave them a diet plan. I don't know if these moves are right for you. I'm just showing you what I'm doing because I know it's helped me. And again, I don't know if that means that it's going to help you. I think that you should probably either hire a qualified physical therapist or, like I said, buy the book, The Back Mechanic. It's not that expensive. It's like $30. So these side planks I'm holding for 35 seconds, and I've got my phone there to time it. These are something that Jamie had also had me doing, so I can't give them all the credit to the book. This is things Jamie had me doing. Actually was on my ass about it for a long time because I would not do my planks like I was supposed to, and that's paid the price for it. So, but I do these moves every single day. I take 20 minutes. I do these moves every single day, and then I do, my mobility work in the gym before I start my training, and that's probably another 20 or 30 minutes. So, darn near an hour every training day is spent just doing these things. And it's not what I want to do. It's not lifting heavy. It's actually really annoying. I don't like doing this stuff, but whatever it takes, right, babe? Sorry, I couldn't help it. But do the little YouTube cult shout out. There you go, Rich. There's your shout out. But no, seriously, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I've got to do to recover. I'm going to recover. I'm going to come back. And I cannot wait. I can't wait to step on that platform again and hear the 3 words, bar is loaded. I think I'll have a damn big smile on my face when that happens. And I fully plan to PR again. And you know what? There's a lot of people who aren't going to see it. They won't see it. They'll say, man, you're squatting like 300 pounds right now. You want to turn that into 300 kilos. How are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to put in the work every single day. And I'm going to do the due diligence. I'm going to stay focused, stay motivated, and just put one foot in front of the other. And I know I'll make it. And I'll be back on that platform, back on that podium, and PRing again. You can write it down. So that's all I got for this video. I hope it was helpful for some of you guys. And I'll catch you later with more of the stuff I'm doing for my rehab. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it.